as we have resident EDH guru and all-around nice guy, Dave Brown, playing his super weird combo deck in this round. So, should be fun. Everyone else has stepped out briefly for either to play, to trade, or to talk to their wife on the phone. So it's just me for now. Quick reset. My name is Zachary Evans. I'm sitting here in the broom closet in the back of Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. This is coverage of our weekly Friday Night Magic Standard Tournament. We are in round 4 of 5 in tonight's event, which will be followed by a cut to top 8 and then the subsequent top 8. It is round 4, and we are looking at 2 players who are 2-1. On the right, a player that you should be very familiar with if you've watched in the past. He is Brett Rose, and he is playing his Esper tokens list. A really cool deck that uses Intangible Virtue, favorable winds to buff up a variety of spirit tokens, and swings in for huge chunks of damage. Very interesting deck that's had a lot of success. On the left, like I said, is old Dave Brown. Dave Brown is that guy that everyone has at their card shop, the older guy who's super nice guy, easy to get along with. Doesn't play standard a lot. You do see the unsleeved deck. You might be wondering, why does he have his deck unsleeved? Because I guarantee you there's not a card in that deck worth more than $1. Dave Brown is your he is the budget player at the shop. And he's got something going on where he's playing like Boundless Realms and then winning with like Psychic Spiral or Laboratory Maniac. I don't know exactly what's going on, but he's 2-1. He went 3-2 last week, and this was a good match for 2 players that have not been on the stream tonight. So we will wait and see how it goes. You can learn along with me. As to exactly what's going on with Dave's deck. Favorable Winds comes down on turn 2 for Brett. That is his 5th and 6th Anthem effect. And like I said, Dave is playing, I believe this is a bug list in terms of its colors. He is playing Boundless Realms. Looks like an Alchemy to dig for business. And he has a couple of weird win conditions. He does have a Laboratory Maniac win. You do see a Psychic Spiral in his hand. That's also part of his win because he does dig through his entire deck. I've seen this deck in action once before, but it had a really bad draw. Just drew a bunch of lands, didn't really do anything, as combo decks do sometimes. So it should be interesting to see exactly what comes up. Questions in the chat about whether he plays Increasing Confusion or Chronic Flooding. He does play Increasing Confusion. I know that. I think that might be a sideboard card because the Psychic Spiral, obviously they can interact with your graveyard and negate the effectiveness of the Psychic Spiral. So I think in Games 2 he brings that in just so he has another way of milling them out. But again, you're making a lot of assumptions on my familiarity with Dave's list, and I do not in fact have any clue as to exact cards. I just know the cards that you see and the cards that I've mentioned. There's a second Anthem effect from Brett, means those tokens are 3/3 Vigilant. So that is if nothing else hits the board, that's going to be a 4-turn clock. Leaving 2 mana open. I believe he plays Syncopates in the main, as we see a Syncopate from Dave as well. We see a Master Components. So he's going to draw 3 and then put a card from his hand on the bottom. So let's see what he draws. Land, I think? I'm going to put, I didn't see what he put on the bottom. More than likely another land. So plays an island representing Syncopate, or at least giving himself the ability to cast Syncopate. End of turn, Brett's going to cycle his Azorius Charm, I believe. And with so many questions in the chat about this very unique deck, I'm reminded of my apparent catchphrase, which is, "It is what it is." That's the answer to all of Dave's stuff. Unfortunately, Dave cannot syncopate this because Brett does have 2 mana up, so he can pay for the syncopate. So he can syncopate and at least force Brett to tap out in case he has another Anthem effect. The fact he didn't play one last turn suggests to me that he does not have one. So those are 4/4 tokens coming in, and Brett is down Dave is down to his last turn of the game, unless he's got some kind of board wipe, which I don't see coming out of this green-blue deck. So let's see if he's got anything, any kind of business. Nope. Just a lot of card drawing and a lot of mana ramp, but no business. Brett's deck does put on a pretty fast clock, so can't dilly-dally around or Brett's going to get you. So first game goes to Brett, somewhat non-interactive. I apologize for that, but you know, here's the problem with running this event. We're down to, after some drops, we're down to 13 pairings out there. There's at least 2 people who don't ever want to play on camera, so that knocks me down to 11. I've already featured 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pairings tonight, so that knocks me down to 6 pairings. So it's very difficult to find matches where someone hasn't already been on camera. So that's why we see the interesting deck here so late in round 4. But like I said, Dave is 2-1. I'm sure his deck does something degenerate. I just don't know exactly what it is. Let's talk about who's doing well tonight. Your 9-point players through 3 rounds. Nick Reed, who we saw in round 1 playing Green-White Humans. Also JB Roberts, the store manager, who is 3-0 as well. He's also playing Esper tokens, I believe. He might be on Junk Reanimator. I'm not sure. He talked about switching over to an Esper list. I'm not sure if he actually put it together. The other undefeated matchup is Garrett Meadows, who we also saw earlier tonight. He's also playing Green-White Humans. Played a really close match in round 2 against Jonathan Wright's Esper Flash deck. He's playing against Brandon Gibbs, who I believe is playing Blue-White Aggro, which is an interesting champion, War Falcon, Thalia, Silverblade Paladin, Geist of St. Traff deck. So those are your undefeated players, the bevy of players with 2 wins. And myself, of course, undefeated as usual. Yep, I'm undefeated in Friday Night Magic tournaments for the last 14 months, because you have to play before you lose. But while Dave resolves his mulligan, we'll talk a little bit of business. I'm not sure exactly what the date is. I think we've got 2 weeks to go before it is, in fact, Gate Crash pre-release time. We will be running 2 events here at the store, so if you're local, definitely come down and get involved in one of those. For those of you on the stream, I plan on playing in one of them and streaming the other one. So I'll get you more details on that as the time gets closer. But if you want to make sure you know regardless, make sure to follow us on Twitch TV. Just click that follow button to the left and right above the video window. They'll send you an email notification every time our stream goes live. So the game's back on. Dave on the play this turn. Same turn 3 as last game, Digging with a Forbidden Alchemy to Brett's Intangible Virtue. The interesting thing about Brett's deck is it doesn't do really anything on turns 1 or 2. It simply passes on turn 1 ever since he's removed the Judge's Familiars, and plays an Anthem on turn 2, but by that point all of his 2-for-1 or greater token generators really start to get out of control. So there's 3 mana for a Drogskull Captain. Probably the best turn 3 Dave can hope for. It is a 2/2 Spirit Lord, which gives all other spirits hexproof and +1/+1, but with no other spirits in play, he's only really threatening 2 damage next turn. On Dave's turn, he's going to resolve a Ranger's Path, move up to 6 mana, untap possibly next turn with 7. And again, his win condition is somehow related to milling, so we will have to wait and see exactly how that all plans out. We're all in an adventure, guys. I don't know any more than you do. It's fun. We can all learn together. Hold hands and watch this weird combo deck do what it does. So there's Soren, the Lord of Innistrad. He, his saber, and long black trench coat are going to make an appearance, likely making a token. And Brett's going to pass after getting in with his captain. The fact that Dave is already on to his 5th turn and only at 18 life, pretty good spot to be in for him. See a Gate Creeper Vine in his hand. He might have some Defender Ramp built into this deck as well, but the fact that he has no flyer is probably going to be an issue. I apologize for being here by myself, guys, but all of my commentators got up and left. They always lose steam as the night goes on. Also, we see Curse of Echoes come down, which is the sideboarded card that basically single-handedly negates all of Dave's mill cards, as Brett can copy them and retarget Dave with them. Can also let Brett copy all of the counter magic and also the draw spells. So Syncopate takes care of that. Brett pounds in, dropping Dave to 12 and sending himself up to 23 off of lifelink triggers. So there's Devastation Tide, returning all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. That includes Planeswalkers and the Intangible Virtue. So pretty good play from Dave. Hold on a second, I'm not sure if the Virtue's in play. Hey Dave, is that Virtue going back in his hand?
Yeah, that's a permanent.
Is that in the graveyard? Just check it. All right, Brett just forgot to bounce the anthem. It happens. It's tough to sit here and play in front of 152 viewers around the world, you eagle-eyed Magic aficionados. So replaying buys a lot of time. One Shapeshifter token, or if you were watching several weeks ago, I inadvertently called it a Shift Shaper token multiple times. That's always good for a laugh when I screw up big time. Devastation Tide, pretty cool. Now let's see what Dave wants to do. He has a grip full of cards and 6 mana. I think I saw an Alchemist Refuge in his hand. Here's another Ranger's Path. Just get them all. He's going to have every land in the world. So, Ranger's Path resolves for Dave, and he passes the turn back. Brett sitting on all the mana in the world. He does have a Vault of the Archangel available, which is probably not going to be very relevant in this matchup, but the ability to vault with all of his tokens and gain so much life, and we've seen in weeks past, pretty crucial in affecting the race. I really hope Dave does something proactive. I really don't want to see him spend 2 games just ramping to oblivion and not doing anything. So he's dead on board here. That token is a 4/4. No, the token is a 4/4, and the draw skull is a 2/2. Another Devastation Tide, and it resolves. So reset the board once again. I imagine Dave's playing the full set of them. He's tapping 4 again. Could it be yet another Ranger's Path? No, amass the components. So draw 3, shove 1, digging desperately for his win condition, which, as I've mentioned multiple times, I have no idea what it is. People commenting about how Dave Brown is in fact playing his lands above his permanents. It is because Dave Brown is an old player. As we talked about before, in the original rules books of Magic, up through about Revised, that was how they taught the game to be played. So, 2 emblems, I believe, for Brett. I think he's keeping track of those off camera. Oh no, they're up to the top there. So 3 emblems. So that is a 5/5, or a 5 power Snapcaster Mage. So Dave's going to do something here. He has a ton of mana. He spent his whole game digging through his deck and ramping his mana. So he needs some kind of fog effect or bounce effect or something. It's another Devastation Tide. That will buy him another turn. Yep, Dave just realizing that that the Snapcaster Mage, because it is flash, will come in at end of turn and will attack him to death. So unless he can come up with, I guess, an unsummon? Unless he has an unsummon. I do see the increasing confusion in his hand, but I think he's already played a land. So that's going to be all she wrote. And Dave goes ahead and scoops him up. Snapcaster was coming down there with 3 Sorin emblems, as we see, marked by the die at the beginning. So I guess it's the Sands of Delirium. It's just a mill deck. Dave has a lot of different mill win conditions, and he is playing Boundless Realms. Boundless Realms obviously will get every land in his deck out, and then that increasing confusion, and the and he's also playing Curse? I don't know. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out from Dave what's going on with that deck, and I'll post that in our recap post every week. There's a post on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. All the things we talked about the previous week on the stream. I want to go out there and find you another feature match, but in the meantime, I want you to do us a favor. The only thing we ever ask of you guys, if you enjoy watching the stream, is to help us out, spread the word by our various forms of social media. Go to youtube.com/ZachSellsMagic. Everything we've ever recorded archived there. These videos from this week will be up probably on Sunday. Every week you can check out all the stuff we've recorded on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter @ZachSellsMagic. You're seeing a theme develop. My username on everything is @ZachSellsMagic. It's awful branding from like 2 or 3 years ago, I understand, but it is what I'm stuck with. So go to Twitter @ZachSellsMagic for tweets about the stream, giveaway information, and just general banter. Facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic is our main website. Please head over there if you are on Facebook, like the page, participate in some discussions, share things. There is content up there daily. I spend a lot of time making sure that there is useful information on there, so go check it out. And finally, if you're watching the stream live right now on Twitch, you obviously know where the website is, twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. Make sure you click the follow button above the video screen and to the left so that you'll receive an email notification anytime our stream goes live. And if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, make sure to come check us out live sometime as you are available. If you can't make your FNM, come watch ours. I'm going to take a brief break, step outside, find you another feature match, and we will go from there. Gotta go out there and find another match. Feel free to talk to these gentlemen.
So, Garrett Sells Magic Productions. I'm just going to come in out of nowhere and directly talk to the chat that has not been interacting with me. Zach Sells Magic is the worst title ever, but it's one of those things where the guy is just stuck with that. Like, that's what he started off with, and it's not like he can just, like, if he changed it to Zach Evans Productions, next week on Twitch TV, you wouldn't be able to find it. The green white's quite ridiculous. 4-0 right now, probably going to be able to draw in the top 8. The roughest matchup so far has been the Esper control deck, where the Esper is more like a mid-range deck. So Zach's trying to find us another match right now. Looks like, nope, that's Brett Rose. Brett Rose in his carpet jacket. You can spot that from anywhere. Was it Esper Super Friends? Because he never played a Planeswalker.
Yeah.
Never once saw a Planeswalker.
Did you lose? You won.
No, I won. Played Gibbs. You had Mulligan in 6, game 2.
Oh, you played Gibbs. I thought Nick Reed played Gibbs.
No, I played Gibbs. He Mulligan in 6, game 2. Got him.
Nailed it.
Got him. Had it.
Was that part of your strategy coming into the match?
Yes.
Part of my strategy coming into this match is to provide a second feature match featuring the likes of Chris Harless and his painfully fast Rakdos aggro deck versus Joe Lewis, who's playing Jun. So you've seen both of these guys earlier tonight.
I've never played against Chris with this deck, but I've played against Joe Lewis last round.
Yeah, Chris's deck is brutally fast.
Okay.
I mean, it's the stock Rakdos list.
Yeah.
The bigger aggro list with, I think he runs, well, no, he doesn't run Thundermauls. Well, he might.
I've seen the Thundermaul from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I give him a hard time because his deck is so fast. It makes for poor TV sometimes, but it is very, very good. If you can't deal with the explosive start, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So both of these guys have...
That's my main name. Not World of Hurt.
World of Hurt?
No. Explosive Start.
Explosive Start. Nice. Alright, so... I was trying to explain earlier, during my solo match, where everyone was very confused by Dave Brown's deck.
How did that deal on camera? I'm assuming since it's over, he got beat twice.
Yeah, he got beat twice, but both games were like, I don't know. He has like a mill combo, and it works fine, but the problem is like it's so slow.
Right.
But like that last game he lost, he cast 3 Devastation Tides.
Right.
But like by the end of that game, like it only buys him like 1 turn, and so it's just like the most expensive Fog, and he's like 1 turn away from like Boundless Realms and then like flashing back for a billion.
Right.
But
right.
so if the deck,
whenever he gets Archaeomancer Devastation type block.
So basically what happens is like every that is fun. Yeah. So bounce your Archaeomancer every turn, get it back, or rebuy the Devastation Tide.
Yeah.
So Joe won game 2, Chris on the play. Chris running pretty good on die rolls tonight. Obviously his deck much better on the play than it is on the draw. Knight of Infamy. Every time. He's got it every time. Drops Joe down to 17.
Can you announce this game like a newscaster from Texas?
Can I?
Yes.
I'll try my best.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their little pre-game rituals. I don't know what the EDO codes are for. Definitely not as cool as Pourings, but...
What you missed there, Garrett, was that Pillar of Flame came down and took out the Gravecrawler. Now Infamy is going to pile in with Exalted Trigger. It's going to drop him down to 14. No, you done asked me to do it. I'm going to do it.
I'm going to throw up on you.
Bonfire off the top. That's a miracle. Chris is going to take 1 damage. It's going to kill his Knight of Infamy. Actually, that's a lot of work.
That is a lot of work.
So there's your... He wanted me to do that.
M deck 86.
Uh-huh.
Someone who's obviously 25 or 26 years old. I like the people that always put the years by their name because you know.
Yeah, remind me we need to talk about volley for 5.
Oh, I saw the screen, thought they were done.
Slaughter Games.
Slaughter Games was brought in. Ew.
I don't know. Is Joe playing Thragtusk?
Yes, Joe is playing Thragtusk.
I guess that's the only thing you name, but like if he's bringing in 4th, like, because I know his sideboard is like a 4 of 4 of 4 of. Like, do you really want 4 Slaughter Games in this matchup?
No, I don't ever want 4 Slaughter Games, period.
Like, it seems like this, because all Joe's trying to do is 1 for 1. Yeah, I just figure you just race as fast as you can.
Exactly. Like, I mean, you're exactly right. John does no card draw, no tempo, no nothing. It's literally just 1 for 1s. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming he plays like Messengers.
Because like you look at that, like seriously, like the commenters on YouTube like gave me holy hell this week. But like in that game, like that instance, he spent his entire turn getting rid of Thragtusk that Joe didn't have in his hand.
Right.
And now Joe's going to untap, advance his board state, and leave open Golgari Charm.
Yeah.
Well, assuming he has a land.
I don't know. I play Nevermore, so I can't say much.
Joe is, however, at 9 life against the burn deck.
Miracle Land.
It is Miracle Land. Searing Spear at end of turn. Can you respond to the Unleash?
No, it's also a replacement effect.
So what do you do here? Do you play the Key Rune? No, that's very good.
Huntsmaster is probably the trump in this matchup. Now all Joe just needs to do is keep passing the turn and let his Huntsmaster flip. And slowly get ahead of Chris. Okay, forget that idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting. At least Joe can take solace in that it's not coming out of his face.
Yeah, I mean, the Healing Staff is fine there. I mean, Huntmaster was like 2 bodies that... It was a card that says gain 2 life, make it 2/2.
You gain 5 life.
Gain 5 life. Yeah, I was going to gain 2 life, gain 3 life, but it is 5 total. Joe's stuck on lands a little bit here too. He has 2 Key Runes in his hand now. He has a Dreadbore. No, Joe. Play the... I think I might play the Key Rune and then Dreadbore, but I guess you're dead at that point too, like a 4-drop or a haste creature, but like you're at 8 life, right? So you do that now, right? Yeah, and then you keep up Charm.
Yeah.
Another Dreadbore in hand is going to take out the Cackler.
He does play Verasco, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Joe does?
Yes.
In the main board, or is this in the side?
It might be in the sideboard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do with my opening 7? Just lay him on the table. Then I'll look at him. Take that. Just putting that out there. As we see, Thunder Mohawkai come down, and immediately get turned the wrong way.
So Joe is likely dead. I mean, it's going to be very tough for him to...
Abrupt Decay, probably?
He abrupt decayed the Cackler, and then he's going to Dreadbore the thing, but he's dead. He's dead to so many cards in his deck now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 more Spears, Falcon Wrath Aristocrat,
And he's just now getting
another Thundermaw. He needs to gain some life. Pretty darn fast.
Master.
Don't we all?
I actually need 4.
Oh, Deathrite Shaman will help.
We both got getting over that.
He's got to survive this. He can't lose to whatever card Chris draws, and then he'll have a chance. Oh, he can beat that because he's going to go Golgari Charm here, right?
Yep. He's not even going to worry about that.
I would have. So now Joe can go effectively up to 5 life. Well, that's like the perfect kind of... That card off the top is probably like the best thing possible for Joe, in the sense that Chris... Now that he didn't kill him that turn, like it's going to be an uphill battle for him.
Right.
So Joe's thinking here. I don't know what's in his hand. I tried to put this on the other screen today, but it doesn't. It lags because of the VGA.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be more effective if it was over here so everybody could see it. So whatever Joe's doing, he cannot tap a green mana. That's for sure, right?
Right.
Why do I have Chris at 19?
And I think he just gained a life here while Chris has no cards in hand.
I think I do that, and I it's like
Okay,
very...
he plans on using the Golgari Charm.
Uh-huh.
Probably in response to the Exhaust trigger.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Never mind. That's why you don't get hasty, kids. That's why you left to let your opponent play.
Yeah, that's like a blowout, isn't it? Like
that's pretty big. And now Joe gets to untap, go above
up to set, and above Brimstone Volley as well.
Yep.
So I think Joe's turned the corner here. But I mean, he can use it. He can use lands because he has to tap 3 mana per turn just to activate the stuff he needs to win the game. So, what's the best card Chris can draw at this point? Thundermaw?
Definitely.
He didn't draw it, clearly. He has a burn spell in his hand.
Yeah, it's a burn spell or another Slaughter Games, maybe.
I think he'd cast that, maybe. Gaining 2 more, up to 7.
Lou's gonna steal this one.
Like, Chris is now in that awkward point where he's going to use his burn spells on the... Yeah.
Brimstone Valley.
Yeah, Brimstone Volley to kill the Kieran. Like, that's the awkward point that Chris is in right now. Like, he
I would
has
just
to...
hold it. Like, you have at least another turn. Like, if Joe drains this turn,
Insult to
it would have
injury.
brought him to 5.
Another land.
Land.
Gain another set of 2 life.
He exiles the Brimstone Volley, takes him down by 2.
Oh, it's very aggressive, Joe.
Oh, he's...
Can he kill him this turn? He can only do 7. Unless he has a Rakdos return, which would be amazing.
Or a burn spell of his own.
Yeah, maybe he has done the math. Oh, does he have a Wolf Run? Oh, conscripts.
Still, Chris says, hold on just one second. I have no cards in hand. And you're going to kill me? This does not seem fair.
Yeah.
So wait, I lose? Yes.
Not that it matters there, but I think Joe makes a play mistake. I think you activate your Shaman, then untap it with this conscripts and get double, right?
Yep, definitely.
We're good at Magic. We dominate. No. That's a pretty good game.
That was pretty good.
Joe went from like dead in the ringer to...
Joe had to become the control deck there.
Is dead in the ringer even something people say?
I don't know what a ringer is.
So clearly not. Oh, good times. Well, congratulations to Joe Lewis. He moves to... You played him and beat him, right? So he's 3-1 then?
Yep.
So Joe Lewis 3-1. He's going to have pretty good tiebreakers since you are undefeated.
Correct.
So chances are he's doing pretty... He could probably even lose the final round. But we'll have to wait and see. And unfortunately, I think it's the first time Chris has ever lost on camera with the Rakdos deck. He's played some other, more interesting decks. He's played... Chris is an interesting kind of exercise in Magic, yeah. Because he used to play the fun decks, and then eventually you get tired of losing with the fun decks, so he wanted to play a very competitive deck, and obviously the Rakdos deck, the most aggressive deck in the format.
I'll just stay in here for next round. I'll probably be able to draw in.
Okay, well, yeah, you're undefeated, right? So you're good to go. I don't think we're going to be able to get another match because...
I'm not looking. Are you looking? Yeah, it
doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. The front table is empty. Want to talk about some more spoilers? Well, first of all, as we switch back to the studio cam, we did talk about... you're not Max. I'll fix it. Somebody talking about something in the studio. We did go to the Star City Games Open Series in Columbus last weekend. Garrett participated in both events, piloting Bant Control in Standard to... how'd that go?
3-2-2.
3-2-2.
Yep.
You did enter the Bant bracket at some point.
Yeah,
with the draw.
after the first match.
After the first match with the draw.
Yeah, started off the day 0-0-1.
Which is the problem with the Bant deck.
It's
perfectly fine.
I had told people that was my nightmare. I might even said it on stream. Like, that was my nightmare, to go up there and start 0-0-1.
Yeah, that's just the way it was. And you did borrow my Belcher deck for the Legacy event. How did you end up on that?
Played against like a 10-year-old girl playing Burn.
You did make a 10-year-old girl cry.
I almost cried. She almost cried.
Congratulations.
Turn 1 your both games.
Achievement unlocked. Garrett Meadows playing...
I actually got that on my Planeswalker points.
Making a young lady cry because of the uninteractive nature of Belcher. For those of you who are not familiar with Legacy, Goblin Charbelcher is a deck that on average wins turn 1.
Yes.
It's like 60%. It's more than that. It's like 75% to win on turn 1 against no interaction. And a deck like Burn doesn't do anything. Feel free to jump in.
How y'all doing in here?
Pretty good. We were talking, we weren't talking just now, but there was a very interesting game you played there, in which The Deathrite Shaman came down at the exact perfect time.
Oh, I was sitting there, my asshole was clenched the entire time.
And
I was like, if I untap this
if
Deathrite Shaman...
the top of his deck, which was a Knight of Infamy,
Yes.
if that could have been so many cards and you would have been dead, but
Yeah.
you made it through. He also blocked with his Knight of Infamy at one point, which I didn't understand. I don't think it would have mattered because you had the Charm in hand, but like it's pretty aggressive. But
I didn't know if y'all saw where I had Charm in hand forever, and I kept it open because he run the Aristocrat.
yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah, and I just couldn't risk being aggressive. I had to keep it up because I was just, like I said, I was clenched the entire time just trying to get through it. But then the bonfire for one at the top there at the beginning was pretty handy.
Old nasty Nick giving me some grief there from South Florida Magic, saying he heard that Belcher's the deck for dudes that like dudes.
Okay, I mean, if we want to go back to like the 10-year-old story, I was nice. She sat down with her new penguin playmat and everything, and I'm obviously a very large guy. I didn't want to be intimidating. Tried to make her feel as calm and casual as usual, and it just so happens that she turn 1 lava spikes me and I turn 1 killer, and then we shuffle off for game 2. I mean, like, I was very, very polite in doing it too. I turned all my cards upside down so she could read there was a judge walking by that stopped and made sure that I was going off okay, and make sure that I wasn't ripping off this 10-year-old girl.
I don't think anyone that knows you would ever accuse you of.
But the 4 people sitting around me,
they hate you.
Oh yeah, they hated me. One said, "Oh, the fun police is here." Like, well, screw you too, man.
Well, here's the interesting thing about Magic.
Okay, well, I walked in. Did you Belcher a 10-year-old?
Twice.
Yes.
1 turn 1.
It's the lowest moment in the history of the stream. High five for. But here's the problem.
I was
with
wearing the helmet.
Here's the thing.
No, he's out there playing.
Here's what always happens, like in Magic in general, but specifically in Legacy because it runs so hot and cold, is that people hate the decks that they don't like. People hate Magic that they don't like to play.
Right.
So some people think Belcher is awesome, and Belcher is really no different than like High Tide, Show and Tell, Teps, all those other decks that, it wins on turn 1, but it's still a deck that's not trying to play Magic.
Right.
It's like Dredge. You're trying to win as quickly as possible. You're not actually trying to interact. It's not a game of 2 fair decks where you're interacting and trading off, stuff like that.
What is the Legacy deck that I'm building?
You're playing Death and Taxes, which is
that's a very interactive
completely fair deck.
I just wanted to play
And I will
this.
Rumple Stomp you with my Dredge deck, which is
He plays Dryad Milton's main board, so you're up against it. But the thing is like you don't go to this event and spend your $40 and expect to have to play against a 10-year-old girl. Like
Exactly.
that's like, usually the people that sign up for Legacy events are the people who understand I'm playing a form of Magic where I could lose on turn 1.
This was the
And if you're upset about it, like, this is the opening.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously, I mean, it's not like Belcher is like we're not going. The point of the story here is not to proclaim the virtues of Belcher as a deck. It was just a deck that you felt like you could pilot. It was a pretty good spot in the metagame. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like the decks that made it to the top, or like, I mean, it was won by elves. Like there was a lot of decks that like, there weren't as many Force of Wills there as there usually are.
Bugs started moving Force of Wills to the side.
Yeah, so it was a metagame call. It didn't work out for you, but it's nothing I hate more than people who are like, oh, you play Dredge, you don't like Magic. It's like, especially when you're playing competitive events, like you're spending $40. It's not an inconsequential amount of money. Like you should pick whatever deck you're going to number one enjoy playing. Number 2, thing's going to win.
Yeah.
If you only want to play against the decks that you like, then you stay at home and play on the kitchen table with your cousin Steve. Because Steve plays blue-white angels.
Right. And you play mono white knights.
You play mono white knight splash green for forest. Splashing green for forest. All right. So anyway, but more importantly, for those of you who do follow the stream, you may have seen the announcement on our Facebook page. But we did take a fairly significant contingent from our store. A lot of people were there from the Parkersburg store as well. We did have some people that did did pretty good. First and foremost, Yin Sang in the Standard Open lost his round 10 feature match, the win it in, to Ben Weinberg, who was playing Knight of Humans, who went on to top 4. So Yin missed the top 8 by 1 round. He did finish 14th for a cool $100. Yep. So congratulations, Yin, playing a Jun control deck that is entirely of his creation. He's been playing that. If you've been watching the stream for the last 5 months, you've seen that deck evolve.
The pouring guy.
Yeah, the pouring that you saw at the beginning, the little balls. That's Yin.
Little balls.
Little balls is Yin, but if you watch our Star City Games invitational qualifier from back at CharCon, he was playing that deck. He top 8'd there as well, and that was a much different deck. He's just.
Well, he took out the Mutilates and put in Huntsmasters.
Yeah, but he did that because of the metagame. I mean,
Exactly.
he's like, it's his archetype. It's what he enjoys. It's not a mid-range deck like Joe's playing. It's more of a control. He's a lot more.
Jerk.
Yeah, no one likes Joe. But welcome to the Broom Closet, Joe. But so Yin finished 14th out of a field of 695. It was the largest Star City Games Open that has ever been contested.
Bigger than the GP.
It was so big that they literally ran out of table space in the room where it was being held.
They had to start carrying tables up to like.
They put tables on the mezzanine. Yeah. There was nowhere to. The trading area was just in the floor in one of the balconies because there was not enough. Pairings are up, but so Yin finished 14th. And Hunter Sumter, who won our West Virginia State Championship with Bulgari Zombies, he actually finished top 4 at the event with a Reanimator
Which,
deck.
by the way, he won like $1,200 or something because they chopped.
Yeah, they always chop, yeah. So it was an excellent job by him. It baffles me because he was playing Reanimator in a field full of Deathray Shamans. But for whatever reason, he dodged the right bullets and made it to the top 4. So congratulations to Hunter and congratulations to Yin. It's good to see guys that play here locally and that are on the stream a lot making good progress. JB, are you still undefeated?
No, I'm not undefeated.
3-1.
I am 3.
Are you playing Junk or are you playing Esper?
I'm playing Esper.
Esper, okay.
I tore my old deck apart.
Alright, so you're playing the tokens tonight.
Yes.
Alright. Well, good luck to you in round 5.
Thank you.
Your undefeated players are, in fact, Nick Reed and Garrett Meadows, both playing Green-White Humans, both of which we saw on camera earlier tonight. They will be drawing into the top 4. I'm going to step outside, take a quick break, see if I can find you another feature match. You're stuck with us for 4 rounds or 100.